young change makers. And that's when this idea dawned upon us to start a new series that we have named Achievers Tuesdays, where on every Tuesday we are going to showcase a student achiever who's going to come and talk to us about their achievements and how they're bringing social impact and change in the lives of others. I am so glad that today we have a platform where we are felicitating all these young change makers who you will be surprised to know the kind of change that they are making and bringing to society. And this change is not only restricted to mankind, but today we are joined by a young change maker who's actually making a change in the life of animals. Joining me today, we have Mr. Pranav Grover, who has been a student of the St. Thomas School, a resident of New Delhi, and also the founder of Paw Family 7, which is an organization that has been working on saving animals, especially who have been in life-threatening situations and abandoned animals. And it started out of his love for for dogs and for stray animals. So I'm really excited to know more from him that what actually motivated him at such a young age to take up this kind of a cause, how he has been mobilizing support and resources to be able to reach as many animals as possible, and what is the kind of I'd say response that he has been getting from his family and extended friends and his educational institutions that he's associated with. So we're going to be unpacking this and a lot more in today's conversation. So firstly, let's welcome Pranav. Pranav, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm really
It
excited to
was
be
my
chatting with you
pleasure.
and know more about your journey with Paw Family 7.
Yeah,
So let's, I think, straight, deep dive into this conversation. So first, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your journey of how you started Paw Family 7.
so hello everyone. I think I'm audible to everyone. I am Pranav Grover and I'm a resident of New Delhi. I am currently 18 years old and I run a charitable trust and an organization by the name of Paw Family 7. I started this organization when I was 15 years old and I've born as an animal lover, and since childhood I was fascinated by animals, be it a dog, be it a cat, or be it any animal, and I had empathy and sympathy towards them. So I started this organization when I fostered a little kid who met with an accident. Like he was he was tried to be murdered and he was tried to be killed by some of the society members of my society, and I fostered him up and I fostered him for 1 month and I got really attached to him. So when I left him back on street when he was completely normal, he met with an accident and he died. And his intestines were out, his skull got crushed, and he was totally in a very bad shape. So that's when it struck me out like if one of an animal died today because of road rage, how many others are dying because of various and various of diseases which we are not aware of? The animal can't speak for themselves, but maybe they need a voice who can speak, so maybe you can speak for them, maybe who can work for them, maybe who can understand them. And that's when it hit me like I have to do something for these animals. And that's when I started a page on Instagram by Paw Family 7. It was just me, it was just an individual rescuer who was working for stray animals. And later in thought, I thought, if I have to go on a large scale, maybe I have to get it legally registered and maybe I have to do something more with it. So that's when I started this as in a legal procedure. Just 2 days back, we got legally registered, and now we are finally a charitable trust. And I have a whole paw family with me, and I have a team who has been working under me right throughout India, and I have more than 1,000 volunteers working right under me and in different parts of India, not just in Delhi, but in different parts. Like we get rescues and we got calls from different parts, different states that we are getting a dog who is injured there. So we sent a volunteer at that place and we tell that volunteer to just give a call, take the dog to the nearest vet, and we'll provide you with the funding because we don't want to burden our volunteers with any kind of a thing. So that's how right now we are working. And as of now, like my journey's been really good. It has been kind of a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs. Like sometimes he faces problem in funding, like for getting dogs rescued, for keeping them in foster houses, for paying their heavy bills. Like right now, I have to pay a bill of 1,20,000 rupees, which is just on me for just one dog. That's it. So one dog's on only just one dog costs me like 1 million of that. Like this, I've saved around 100 and 150 more than strays I have saved right now just by myself, and there's no count for my team. And we feed every day more than 300 dogs, just me, and then my team count comes. We've got stray dogs adopted in complete happy families, and they are happy and they got the life that they deserve. Because, see, I don't discriminate in any kind of a thing, and I don't objectify any kind of a living being based on their voice, based on their gender, or based on their religion. There is discrimination in humans, and animals also feel discrimination. Like, just say India where it's like there's a discrimination between men and women. It's same in the voiceless animals. Like some people don't want to adopt females because they get pregnant and then they give the litter. Somebody only wants to adopt female because they pee only once in a day. So they are like, we don't want a brown color, we don't want a white color. Show us in more than black color because our priest has told us that black color will bring happiness to our family, so that we are adopting a black color in the dog, but we just want to keep him. We won't get him vaccinated. We just want to keep it for religious purposes. And I see a lot of people in everyday life who want to get a dog, who wants to do something, but they don't have that kind of an awareness and they don't have that kind of knowledge. India is actually based on lack of literacy. People don't have any knowledge. They want to do something for the country, but they can't. So that's where we come out and we organize these feeding drives and these different projects where we introduce everyone to different kind of things that a dog should have been, taken care of with pet animals. We teach pet parents, we teach new pet parents how to treat their animals, how to keep them safe, what kind of food should be, given to them, what kind of things are to be taken care of when you bring a dog home. So that's how my story goes right now.
I think that's so lovely and heartening to hear, and especially because I can relate to so many things because I'm a dog lover myself and a dog parent myself. And I'm so happy that, at Paw Family 7, you're actually looking at it very comprehensively. So it's not only about rescuing dogs, which is obviously a larger mission, but it's also about sensitizing people to, especially when they're fostering dogs at home and, when they're bringing dogs home, how to keep them, how to treat them, how to take care of them. Because you're absolutely right, there are a lot of things that the knowledge aspect which is actually missing. A lot of times people do end up getting dogs or cats and giving them a home, but then after a point of time they realize that it's too much work, and then they want to abandon them, and it's really sad for these animals because they don't have a voice. But imagine if this were to happen to you. So that is definitely something. I'm so happy to hear that from you today, that this is what is something that you all have been doing. But tell me something, how did you discover your love for animals? How early did this happen, and when did you decide that you wanted to do something about actually about helping animals, supporting animals, and putting a formal structure to it? And also, by the way, congratulations on getting legally registered. But
Thank
when
you
did
so
you
much.
muster up the courage to do this? When did you discover? How did you discover? Because I think for a lot of youngsters out here, we're all trying to discover our passion. So any sort of pointers on how did you discover that passion, I think would be very helpful to the viewers.
Yeah. So, like I told you guys, what actually happened was there was a little bitch who came into my locality in 2019 and she was pregnant. At that time, I was just an animal lover. I was limited to knowledge like we have to feed them this, we have to give them bread, and we have to give them milk, and we don't have to go near by them because we can get infection, we can get rabies and all. There were a lot of misconceptions and myths about dogs that I used to hear. So I never realized that I was bounded to those myths, and I accepted those myths as facts. And there's a very thin line between myth and facts, and we don't know when we cross that line. So it was just that much knowledge that I got, and I was in 11th class. I guess it was my 11th class was ending at that time. So I was just feeding her, and 3 days later, she gave birth to 8 little puppies. And a huge ruckus was created in my blog, and she like every time this happens, that when a mother gives a litter, she becomes overprotective about her kids and she starts biting everyone. So the same thing happened with my dog, and she started biting everyone except me. She even bit my family members as well because she thought that we were trying to kill her babies, and she was very overprotective. So what happened was that I never had experience how to deal with litter and how to you know handle them, how to feed them, what will be the appropriate age. I didn't even knew how to check what gender the puppy is. At start, I was like, all of them are males. Then when someone told me this is the difference, then I was like, all of them are females. But then I actually researched. Then I got to know that no, six of them are males, two of them are females. I never had heard of anything called adoption of Indian strays because I was living in that mentality that only breeds get adopted, breeds are to be purchased, and I was limited to only 3 4 breeds. I didn't even knew that there were hundreds of breeds out there. There is one Indian Farrier that is our stray dog. People call stray dogs as street dogs, but they are actually identified in a breed that is Indian Farrier dog. I never knew about these things at that time, but all I knew was that I had to save those kids. So I did that thing. With the help of some of my friends, I got four of them adopted. One of them died due to a natural death. And like I told, I fostered one of them. What the block wanted to do was that they wanted to kill the mother dog because she was biting everyone. So that was the fact that my block people tried to kill one of my dog, and he was just a 2 months old puppy. So I was very considerate about him, and he was the innocent of all the litter. So I fostered him under my house and I kept him in my house for for complete 1 month, and my family was against it. But time by time they also got attached to him, and we never had kept a dog in our place. Every time I used to talk to my parents that we want to keep a dog, they were like, "We have you and that's enough." So this is one typical line that every Indian family has to hear. So we fostered that kid, and later we got him treated. But what I realized was, looking at my age, the vet was also, kind of cheating on me. He stretched a 1 week treatment to 3 weeks treatment, and he took money and money, a lot of money from us for just one fractured kid. When 3 weeks later, when I realized that I was being, conned, and also I removed the plaster by myself. I consulted to the vet online and then I removed the plaster, and he was absolutely fine. The next day when I kept him back with his mom, he was running and he got a limp in his hand. He got a permanent limp because, he was walking on 3 legs for 3 weeks. So he had this habit of walking on 3 legs only. And he was running behind his mom, and he came under a car. He came under a bus, and his intestines came out. His head was crushed. His skull was dislocated. His jaw was not visible, and vultures were eating off him. So we cremated him, and that's when it hit off. I have to do something for others as well. I have to get a lot of litter is out there who wants to get adopted, who doesn't deserve to live on streets, and they don't deserve to die. There are some cases when a baby is just born, and within seconds of being born, they die. In my side, I am emotionally weak. My counselor has told me I am very emotionally weak. So I get attached to even non-living things. And it was a living being. I started having panic attacks when he died. So that's when my family thought that yes, I was ready for a dog. And just 2 months later, after my dog said, they got me a cute little tri-breed dog. And that was also a rescued dog. I have one motto and I live by one motto, that is adopt, don't shop. A lot of people question me up that when you live by this motto, why did you bought a dog? Why didn't you adopted a dog? So I have an explanation for that as well. The breeder was about to kill those 5 puppies who were born because of the crossbreeding. He was supposed to, get two Labradors mated, but what happened was the male father was not a Labrador and it was a crossbreed. The dog actually costed 1 lakh rupees, but we agreed that we will keep this dog. So he demanded 30,000 and we gave him because we wanted to save those kids. We kept that dog, and his name is Boxer. And every time I go out of my house, going for some deed or for saving an animal, I touch his feet and I kiss him. That he is the only motivation that I have been having for 1 year. I was very suicidal last year in the lockdown because of a lot of family problems and issues. He was one complete motivation for me. Right now, what I am because of just him. Whenever I see him, I get this feeling that he has some siblings out there. He has someone of his breed that are that are waiting to be rescued, that are waiting to get adopted. But it doesn't mean that we don't do it. So that's why we go out. I have a team. We have different departments. We have donation department. We have PR department. We have rescue volunteers, and they are more than happy to work with me because they know India is a very typical country, and everywhere in India, every person has these judgmental, thoughts and comments about an NGO, that an NGO don't work, they only do for show off, or I get to hear that you opened an NGO just to turn your black money into white money, and we just want to donate so that we can turn our money into white money and we can get the rebate. So there is one very bad, and there's a myth in people in a brain that NGOs only work for doing show off. There is a rarest chance that someone like Poor Family 7, or there are others like Pere Oda family, and there are a lot of families who are actually doing for the welfare of the society. I was setting up donation boxes across Delhi so that we could raise some funding and we could do some marketing. And all I could hear is that NGO walo na, we know tum log kya kaam karte ho. And after listening to 6 or 7 shops, at the 8th shop, I fought with them. At least we are doing. At least we are taking an initiative of moving out of our comfort zone and moving in whole Delhi just to set up these donation boxes so that we can get some funding, so that we can save more animals, so that we can rent a land, we can keep our animals there, we can get them treated, we can give the life they deserve. But there is a misconception about us and everyone that we are working, we are just earning money. There is no profit of me in earning money. What I am doing is I'm just paying to the foster houses, to the doctors. Even the doctors believe me. They just borrow me the treatment and they just lend me their treatments in free. So because they know that every day I am at the vet with some other dog, with some other dog, and it's like just my second home that I bring some or the other dog. Even in one day, I bring 3 or 4 dogs with me just to get them vaccinated or dewormed, so that I know there's no life on streets. Not even a human can live on streets. And coming on the human part, whenever I cover a dog with the dog coat or whenever I feed them, there are a lot of beggars who just watch me. They are like, कि अगर इन लोगों को मिल सकता है, even if the dogs can get it, why can't we? That's when I thought that Paw Family 7 will not only work for those who have paws. Paw Family 7 works for everyone who is in need. Last year, we donated, I personally went in the field and I donated 150 blankets to beggars, and I completed one of the necessities so that 500 rupees ka blanket खरीदने की जगह they could spend that 500 in eating or sending their kids to school. That is my motto, that I don't want anyone in my eyes, in my sight to suffer. So that's the thing of for family planning.
That's a very noble thought and a very noble initiative. And I'm so happy to hear, Pranav, that you've actually taken your mission and vision further. Like you said, that, we are not restricted only to our four-legged friends, but anybody who is in sort of need. And very correctly pointed out by you that there are a lot of misconceptions that people have about NGOs. They tend to feel that, NGOs are actually conduits of probably, like you said, of converting black money into white money, or a lot of NGOs are not actually committed to the mission and vision. But like you said, at least somebody is taking that onus of taking the first step and not just sitting and standing as a bystander and just commenting on the problems of society. It's really about all of us
Yeah.
coming out and doing our bit. So while we're talking about society, I think for a lot of youngsters, what also happens is that, when they want to follow their dreams and passion, be it family, be it relatives, neighbors, everybody passes a lot of comments. And sometimes because of that, people are not able to actually do what they really want to do. So I'm sure when you were also, contemplating starting for Family 7, a lot of people would have had, their own judgment. Some people would have said that, how will you earn money from this? Some people would have said, you're still in school. Why are you not focusing on your studies? The general gyan that one gets from everybody around. So how did you deal with that, and how did you emerge stronger and ensure that you are translating your vision into reality?
I still hear a lot of negative comments from people. Like I just told you, I fought with a person 2, 3 days back when he was, passing on loose. He was loose talking about me, and this this Pop Family 7 was not built it up overnight. It took years for me to come on the position that I am right now. I'm not like other kind of children, like playing PUBGs and spending times on phones and I am a social person. I'm an influencer as well. I do something that makes me happy. I do make videos. I feel happy. I have a lot of fashion sense. But at that point of time, I don't mix my personal life and my professional life together. I know that there are people and there are dogs out there who are in need of me and I can't leave them out. So yeah, that is one thing that I do hear every time from everyone. My family doesn't support me in this. Only my mother supports me. I even, just yesterday, I am actually a teacher in a slum as well. I teach students in slums for maths and accounts. So yesterday I was just leaving my house and my grandmother commented on me कि अपना घर पहले संभाल लो बाद में जाके बच्चों को पढ़ाओ. So I was like कि मेरा घर संभालने के लिए there are a lot of people. My dad is doing everything. My family is supporting themselves, and if I will not go and teach them, then maybe their future will be spoiled because nobody else is taking any initiative. I always hear like कि माँ बाप ने संस्कार नहीं दिए हैं एंड बाहर घूम रहा है, रात को घूमता रहता है, पता नहीं कहाँ पे रहता होगा, हमें तो डाउट है इसके अफेयर्स चल रहे होंगे, घर की बात है एंड व्हाट नॉट. I am a person who is non-binary. I don't believe in gender. And I often hear comments on my hair, on my body. I have thyroid, so I'm very slim. So I am not a kind of a person who will just give you explanations and justification when I know that I'm right. I have nothing to justify to anyone. If I know I'm right, if my God knows I'm right, then why will I give any justification to anyone? I think so that the person who comments on me should work on their life. आपकी लाइफ इतनी खराब है that you're commenting on someone else's life, that you are so out of your time, that you have immense time, yet you are not using it and yet you are not doing it. You know, you are not showing any productivity. So my answer to every bully, be it personal or be it related to dogs, is just mind your own business. That's all I can say. Bullies are kind of a there कि when I rescue a dog and see, किसी को बचाना या मारना मेरे हाथ में नहीं है. It's just कि I can just prevent that thing. I can just give my best. I can give the best treatment possible to any dog. And I never ever think about funding. I just do it. I know कि if I'm doing the right thing, funding will be arranged. But yet I hear these comments कि बच्चों से कितना पैसा कमा लोगे, इतनी फंडिंग का क्या करते हो, कहीं पे लगाते तो हो नहीं. So इनको जस्टिफिकेशन देने के लिए मेरे को ज़रूरत नहीं है. I just post all the screenshots of all my payments. I even posted my bank account statement publicly. That look at it. Look at the accounts that I've been transferring money to. Look at the vet sign. Look at the foster sign. Look at the hospital sign. You can check that I'm sending these money, and I add this little description in Google Pay and Paytm that I'm sending for this amount for this dog this amount of money on this date. Yet I hear कि these are fabricated, Photoshop and all whatnot. I'm like, I don't have time for these things. आई रियली डोंट हैव टाइम कि मैं बैठ के पहले फ़ोटोशॉप करूँ, जितनी देर में मैं वो फ़ोटोशॉप करूँगा उतनी देर में किसी डॉग की डेथ हो सकती है बाहर. सो आई डोंट वरी अबाउट दीज़ थिंग्स. आई जस्ट थिंक कि पीपल विल कम, पीपल विल गो, पीपल विल से, पीपल विल शट अप. I have to work on. I don't have to stop. I have to take my mission on a further level. I have to expand Paw Family 7 not in India but worldwide. I want to make it a brand. If you might heard about Sanjay Gandhi Animal Care Hospital, that is the biggest hospital in Delhi. That too by a politician. She started out late. I started at the age of 16. I thought that I had that level of maturity to start my own NGO at the age of 16. But yet I face these kind of troubles. She faces because she's a woman and she's in politics. I face because I'm a boy. I'm a young boy. I am a teenager and I didn't have a knowledge of, the outside world. That's the whole
Very
thing.
well put, Pranav, I must say. And I think you have very well described the challenges I think that one goes through when they want to do something different. But I'm very happy that today you're using this platform because, this the kind of approach that you're taking will actually motivate others also to take that one step forward, because that's what we're looking at, right? That we get that one support from somebody who's probably doing something similar, and then we feel that if they can do it, so can we. So today you are going to be that person in their lives. Now obviously one thing I will have to ask you, which is this, that so you have you started Paw Family 7 when you were 15, So, you were in school, and after school, obviously, you had your college, graduation, all of that in front of you. So, how do you balance both together? Like, how have you been balancing your school, like when you were in school, so your school education and work at Power Family 7. Now, how are you balancing your studies and work at Power Family 7? So, this can also be a good way, if you can share some tips that what you have learned on how to balance the two together and how to align them.
When I started for Family 7, at that time I was just giving my 11th class exams, and after that only I started with my page. And as soon as I finished my 11th class, Corona happened. I After 11th class, I've never been to school. My whole school was online, and you know what online is. I never studied in 12th class. I call myself as an 11th pass out, but yeah, I do have knowledge about 12th things. But I didn't took 12th seriously, to be honest with you, because it was online. I was very sure कि मेरे boards नहीं होने वाले हैं. So I took it very, in a relaxation kind of a thing. So I never had to worry about my studies. I am a very average student. I'm not a very bright student or not dull student. I'm just an average student. So I was like कि ठीक है, हो जाएगा. Let's just do it, हो जाएगा. As soon as my 12th finished, I gave my university examinations, my entrances, and still my result hasn't arrived. So, if I would have to answer your question in one line, I've never experienced how to balance my studies and how to balance my NGO work because I haven't experienced it yet. My school finished, and at that time, I was just working. I was working in this field. Also, I have been awarded by the government as well with my own identity card for being an animal rights activist. I have done a lot of internships, like the way you are taking my interview. I have done a lot of talk shows with people, and I've worked with a lot of companies. I've worked as an social branded intern. I've worked as a social influencer. I've worked in MNC for their internship. So I never had. I'm right now. I'm working as a content writer for a company. So I never had to worry about that thing because they know that I'm in this work and life's important to me more than my personal life. If I get a call in midnight at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., I just walk out of my house. Despite of what my family will call me out. Like I told, they don't matter. Their words don't matter. What matters is that I'm saving a life, and that's counting on my thing. So if I have to worry about my studies and my professional work, then I have to wait for getting into college. Only then I can say because right now I'm waiting for my result, and only then I can answer this question, I think.
I'm sure that knowing you and knowing your commitment, you're sure to do very, very well in life. But what is the plan? So, what are you planning to study further? What is on the cards for you?
I'm a very good chef. I'm a very, very good chef. I've done a lot of cuisines. It's just one thing I don't know how to make a tea, and people judge me on that thing as well. I don't know how to make a tea, and I don't know how to make Maggi. Rest everything I can cook. So it was my plan till November that I was going to be a chef, but I'm an animal rights activist. I can't cook non-veg, and I left non-veg, and I was 9 years old. So if I educate people that you should not eat non-veg, you should be vegan, then how am I supposed to cook and then serve it and then taste it? So I left my dream and I followed my passion. Like I told you, I'm working as a content writer. I have done a lot of talk shows with people and with different personalities and celebrities. So I followed my career in journalism and mass communication. So yeah, I gave my entrance for journalism and mass communication, and I got a very good result in that thing. So yeah, that's what I'm going to pursue. And I've gotten a very good university. I'm just waiting for my college to start.
Excellent. I'm so happy to hear that. And it's great because I mean you're always been someone who's so vocal
Yeah.
about a lot of social issues, and that those are the kind of journalists that we need moving forward. People who are actually true, people who can stick to the facts and who can present the news in the most non-biased and neutral way. So
Yeah.
here's wishing you all the very best, Pranav. It's been so amazing to speak to you and to actually learn so much from your journey of life, which has encompassed so many different things. I think this is the kind of, these are the kind of people we want to showcase on this, to the youth, that you're somebody who's running a NGO which is now registered for Family 7, that has actually saved the lives of so many animals and human beings as well. You have, like you said, you're also a content writer, you've worked in MNCs, you've been a social media influencer, you're doing a lot of work on social media. Paw Family 7 has a following of 5,000 followers, which is great. Apart from that, you are also very fond of, cooking, and you are also working on your culinary skills. So see, this clearly shows, right, that in today's day and age, I mean, the youth does not have to be unidimensional, but we can be multidimensional and pursue multiple passions and interests at the same time, and make a living out of it and be happy and content like you are. So thank you very much for sharing your journey with us. It's really been wonderful speaking with you. And thank you for being so honest and candid with us today.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to be here. When my friend Ashwini told me that I'm gonna be here, so I was very excited about it. That yeah, I'm finally gonna talk about my journey with people, and I can inspire a lot of people out there that they can also do something for it. It's like it's one thing that you can show your sympathy, but what much more works is your empathy. You should be empathetic towards people who are in need of you and who look at you with, they're in need and they want to seek a help. So that I was very excited to come here, and thank you so much for having me over.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Pranav. And a big thank you to all our viewers who are watching this. I mean, I hope you all are inspired. And this is it. I mean, guys, whatever, I'd say social issue or anything that you feel passionate about, take inspiration from Pranav, and you can turn that into your passion and actually bring social change to society, because we need more social change makers like this. So we're going to be back again next week or next Tuesday with another young social change maker who is inspiring and changing the lives of others. Until then, stay safe, everybody. Mask up. The pandemic isn't over yet. Take care, everybody. We will see you next week on Tuesday. Thank you so much again, Pranav. It was lovely chatting.
Thank you. Same here. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.